Marich told Ravan,
I have listened, my king, to all that you have said, and I am filled with boundless sorrow. It is easy to flatter. Flattery is ever pleasant to the ears. Those who utter good, though unpalatable advice, are few, and fewer still are those who welcome it when given. It is my duty to speak to you the harsh truth. Sweet words might please you now, but will surely lead you to danger and ruin. Your informants have not told you the truth about Ram. Do not be deceived by what you have heard from others about this Ram. He is neither a renegade nor a criminal, but a dutiful son who is in the forest to honor his father's word. Far from being a weakling or coward, he is a mighty warrior whose equal in arms does not exist. Do not make him your implacable enemy and bring ruin on your people and your kingdom. From what you are bent upon, it looks as though Sita was born only to compass your ruin. The race of Rakshasas and Lanka itself will soon be destroyed on your account. Who is the enemy that has put this disastrous thought into your head? Who has given you this bad advice to take you, your kingdom, and your race to danger and destruction? Who told you that he was a lover of pleasure and falsehood? Ram is the embodiment of virtue. He employs his strength and courage in the service of duty. As Indra is surely the first among the gods, Ram is first among men. How dare you, how could you cast longing eyes on Sita? Will Sita ever yield to you? Take her from Ram indeed. Can one deceive the sun and steal from him his light? You will be reduced to ashes if you approach the blazing fire of Janak's daughter. Do not fall a prey to Ram's shafts. Do not seek your own death. Do not approach the fire guarded by Ram. One should not launch a course of action without full thought. You can never vanquish Ram in battle. O ruler of the Rakshasas, do not turn a deaf ear to my words. Do you remember how in olden days, proud of my strength, I disturbed the rites and sacrifice of the sage Vishvamitra? In those days, Ram was but a boy. Yet Vishvamitra had, with Dasarath's permission, taken young Ram to protect his sacrifice. That sage knew Ram's prowess. I approached the place to put out the sacrificial fire with contaminating blood and flesh, and then I came up against the boy Ram. What do you think happened? He let loose an arrow which killed Subahu on the spot, and with another he swept me off my feet and hurled me into the sea. Ram the boy is now a man, immeasurably stronger and more skillful in arms. Do not incur his wrath. Do not bring ruin on your people who are now enjoying wealth and pleasure. Do not harbor thoughts about Sita and bring down destruction on your rich and beautiful city and certain death on yourself. If you persist in your foolish project, O Ravan, I see before my eyes the ruin that awaits you. I see Lanka in flames, and her streets littered with death, and her widows and orphans loud in lamentation. Avoid this great sin. If you are angry with Ram, fight him face to face and meet your death like a hero. Do not follow a fraudulent path and drag me into it. Go back and be happy with your numerous wives. Do not invite the Lord of Death to your land and race.
Thus Marich earnestly pleaded for the good of Ravan, who, however, was far from pleased or convinced. How could good advice prevail on a victim of lust? Like a sick man rejecting medicine, Ravan refused to listen to Marich's counsel. Ravan said, "If a king wants to know whether a thing should or should not be done, it is open to his adviser to examine its advantages and disadvantages. But I have not come to you for such advice. I am king, and I have come to tell you that I have decided to do this. I expect and want your help to carry it out. You forget the loyalty I am due from you, and dare tell me that what I contemplate is wrong. On this matter I have considered everything and reached a decision. This insignificant creature whom you praise, he is unworthy of the honor of a formal challenge to battle from me. What more is he than a man driven out of his own country, a fool who has allowed himself to be cheated by a woman and has been deprived of his rights? The proper treatment for such a fellow is to disgrace him by carrying off his wife. This is a matter determined and concluded. Your remarks are therefore irrelevant. You should do what I want you to do, and that is not much. Transform yourself into a strange and beautiful deer, and appear before Sita and attract her attention. Sita will send Ram to pursue and capture you. You should draw Ram away to a distance and simulate Ram's voice and cry, "Ah, Sita! Ah, Lakshman!" Hearing this, Sita will conclude that Ram is in danger, and she will force Lakshman to go to his aid. When thus she is alone, I shall carry her off to Lanka. Once you have rendered me this help, you will be at liberty to do what you like. But if you will not help me now, understand, your life shall be forfeited. Thought within himself,
The frenzy Ravan, who is already under the shadow of doom, will not listen to advice. So desire is driving him to death. It is better for me to be killed by Ram than by Ravan. At least then I would yield my life to a foe.
And so he agreed to the proposal and said,
I have given you good advice, but you will not listen. If I carry out your wishes, I am sure to die, but not more sure than that you will also perish, not long after, with all that is yours. So will our race. Some enemy of ours wishing our destruction has set you on this course. Someone who envies you. I would rather be killed by an enemy whom I respect than by you. Come, let us go to Dundak Forest.
Ravan was overjoyed and embraced Marich, saying, Now you are again my dear old Marich. The two ascended the chariot and proceeded towards the Dundak forest. They flew over cities, mountains, rivers, and kingdoms. Reaching Dundak, they saw Ram's ashram in a banana garden. They alighted at a distance. Ravan took Marich by the hand and, pointing to the ashram, told him to do his part according to their plan. At once, Marich transformed himself into a wonderful deer. Every part of the animal had its own different color and exquisite beauty. Like a rainbow in the sky, it charmed the eye of the beholder. Gold, silver, diamonds, gems, and flowers seemed to appear in succession on its beautiful skin. It was like a living stream of jewels flowing on a beautiful golden body. With such surpassing beauty, the magic deer wandered here and there, now resting for a while, and now pursuing its graceful frolickings. It would sometimes bend and nibble the grass on the ground, again lift its head up to eat the tender leaves of plants. It would sometimes walk slowly near the ashram, and again jump away and disappear, and then reappear at a distance. Sometimes it would join a herd of deer. Then it would part from it and walk alone. The other deer would smell him and move away in sudden terror. Sita, who was then gathering flowers in the forest, looked at the stag and stared spellbound at its wondrous beauty. The deer, too, stared back at her and ran here and there in front of her, shedding a new beauty on the landscape. "Do come and look! Do come and look!" cried Sita, eager that Ram and Lakshman too should see that wonderful deer. "Come quickly, quickly!" she cried. Ram and Lakshman came out of the cottage, saw the exquisite creature, and marveled at its beauty. But Lakshman grew suspicious. It seemed to him that it was no ordinary deer, but a Rakshasa or demon in disguise. Both Ram and Lakshman had heard about Marich, and had been told how, assuming the form of a deer, he would often beguile and destroy those who came for hunting deer in the forest. Lakshman said, "This is no ordinary animal. This is a trick of the Rakshasas." But Sita said, "Please catch this deer for me. We shall bring it up as a pet in the ashram. This is the most beautiful creature I have seen so far in this forest. Look at it. Look at its color. What playfulness." And so she went on, talking of the deer and desiring to possess it. And she pleaded, "Please, please somehow catch it for me." She begged Ram, "Soon we shall have to return to the city. Should we not take some rare thing from the forest to Ayodhya? How beautiful it will be, this exquisite creature moving in the inner apartments of our palace. Bharat would be so pleased. I should love to give it to him. Please, my beloved, catch it for me. Somehow catch it for me." Sita saw that Lakshman did not seem to like her insistence. This only made her more determined to persuade Ram to get it for her. Look at it. It's all gold. And look now, it's all silver. Look, it's going away. Please, please go and catch it. Look again, look. All these long years I never saw such a beautiful thing in these forests. It's like a cluster of shining stars. Ram could no longer resist her entreaties. He said to himself, "Even if Lakshman is right, and the creature is a Rakshasa, then I will kill it. What is there to be afraid of? If I cannot catch it alive, I can bring it down with an arrow. When she is so keen on having it, is it not my duty to get it for her?" And he told Lakshman to bring him his bow and arrows. Lakshman's heart was not in it, but he obeyed. And Ram set out saying, "Mind you, Lakshman, remain by Sita's side and guard her vigilantly. I shall come back soon with this stag alive or killed. Do not be anxious. Even if this is a Rakshasa, what does it matter? It will share the fate of Vatapi. If it has come here to cheat me, as Vatapi tried to cheat sage Agastya, it will be the victim of its own deceit. What can this animal do to me? Stag or Rakshasa, it is all the same. But be careful. Mind Sita. Anything might happen at any time. You must be vigilant." In order to give Ravan plenty of time and opportunity, Marich kept within sight of Ram, but beyond his reach, and drew him on and on. The deer would take a few steps, then stop and turn and stare at the pursuer. Then suddenly it would start, as if in fear. Pricking its ears, it would spring, drawing up its hoofs to its breast, and disappear for a while among the trees. Emerging soon on some tall mound, it would display its lovely outline, framed against a passing cloud. Sometimes it allowed a near approach, as though tired and so easy to capture, but then it would spring up and bound far away. This went on until Marich took Ram some distance. Then the Rakshasa realized this game would not go on forever, and that his end was near. Ram, tired of the pursuit, bent his bow and sent forth an arrow. It pierced the stag. Marich then resumed his natural form, and imitating Ram's voice, called out, "Ah, Sita! Ah, Lakshman!" and fell dead. Lakshman was right, said Ram to himself. This deer was a Rakshasa. He thought further. Hearing this last cry, maybe Sita will be deceived. She is likely to be overwhelmed by fear. But then, Lakshman is there by her side.